Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun, cute train game. It's casual and it can be as involving or as uninvolving as you like. Where I left it last time, I was making my way around Australia, or to be precise, Oceania East, but I was in Australia, and I should be somewhere on my way towards Birdsville. Apparently I am. I'm arriving at Birdsville. Pick up its surfboards. Probably could have sold them somewhere already, but right. This is Oceania East down here. I'll zoom out a bit. And where's Sydney? Sydney, Australia. I will head to Sydney. Home sweet home. I used to live in the Forestville area of Sydney for 4 glorious years. And I worked in French's Forest and North Ryde. So let me go home to Sydney. If you've been following the episode, you'll know what my train configuration looks like. 2 little slight money-making cars at the front. I'm pretty much just doing away with most of my money-making cars. They don't make enough money. Then followed by cars which need to level up. These next 4 cars currently. The Bullet cargo car, the Mandala, the Skyview car, and the Blue Ducky A4 cargo car. All the cars of which I'm looking to level up. There are more passenger cars, a outhouse car, and then a bunch of cargo cars behind there, and my caboose in the back, which contained 22,000 in gold, which is kind of nice. And I'm just doing a exploration of Oceania East. Good, the Oceania East checklist comes up. I've still got to serve about 1,500 more passengers, travel about another 43,000 miles, travel to another 19 cities, buy a lot of cargo, and meet a market demand. Well, apparently there's an obstacle in my way. So I don't know how many of the tasks I will complete in this trip around Oceania East. I don't know if the game will send me back down this way for quests. Okay, the milk, the cheddar cheese and the koalas have no actual demand. Wood windows have no current demand, but I need them for building new stations in Africa. And the rest of the stuff, even if I can't currently use it, has a use at some point. I have quite a capacity for cargo, I forget how much, 241, and my depot has almost around 3,250-ish out of a possible 4,000 stored in it. So at some point I'm going to need to do another depot emptying, but the more I explore, the more I can see what cargo, or the more I unlock, the more I can see what cargo is required around the world. Okay, that got rid of my surfboards. Pretty sure I said the milk, the cheddar cheese and the koala pushes aren't wanted. Yogurt's got no use. Ice cream I know actually has a buyer in this part of the world. So now we head to Brisbane, a place I have been to and I've visited for work. And to be honest, probably my favourite place in Australia. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, not Canberra, Adelaide. Adelaide was truly remarkable and lovely. I could have quite happily lived in Adelaide for the rest of my life. If it hadn't been for the fact that my work permit was going to expire, I would have quite happily moved there and stayed there and found a job there. But the joys of work permits don't always allow you to do what you want. But that was an absolutely lovely city. I really liked Adelaide. Canberra not so much. Sydney was nice enough, expensive but nice, and Melbourne was nice. But out of them all, I just really liked Adelaide. It's just one of those places I immediately felt at home in. Don't know why. To be honest, there are large parts of Australia which are lovely. It's an absolutely lovely country to visit. Yes, they do have a slight problem with casual racism, but I'm sure they will grow out of that in time. However, I could heartily recommend visiting Australia. It's a heck of a long flight to get there from pretty much anywhere, but it's worth visiting at least once in your life. What monument am I capturing this time? Well, Brisbane City Hall. Okay. Clear out yet another job. And another job. Here we are at Brisbane. Oh, my pumpkins are so cheap. I know I'm going to use them somewhere. I'll take the surfboard because I did find a use for those. I don't know if the Aussie Spring Water's got a use, but I'll take it anyway. I don't want the rest of your cargo. So off we go to Sydney. So that means pumpkins are useful. Okay, the ice cream is useful in Sydney. Surfboards are useful in Charleville. Okay, that must be where I drop them off. And the Aussie Spring Water is useful in Longreach, wherever Longreach is. Not a place I know, but it's in Australia apparently. Burst of speed. There's nothing much going on. Hopefully on the way into Sydney I'll get to take a photograph of the Sydney Harbour Bridge and all the Opera House. Two places I went to. Well, I went across the Sydney Harbour Bridge frequently. I visited the Opera House a few times. The centre of Sydney has some nice tourist places. They do a really good job with tourist buses in Sydney. And I really don't recommend Bondi Beach, but it's one of those places you tend to go to because everybody's heard of it. I prefer the beaches on the northern shore of Sydney, Manly and above. But if you're visiting Sydney, you pretty much have to go to Bondi. But they have plenty of buses that take you out there and take you on a tourist circuit, which do stop at Bondi and pick you back up again. So it's not that difficult to get to Bondi and back. Get away from it. Again, I don't recommend it, but it's one of those places which if you're visiting Sydney, you're going to visit Bondi, just so you can say you've been to Bondi. Because everybody asks, did you go to Bondi Beach? Because everybody's heard of Bondi Beach. So jobs put back in order. Here we are, yeah, that's Sydney. No photographs on the way in. Maybe I'll get one on the way out. Don't want the boomerangs. I'll sell you my ice cream. I'll take your cheap pumpkins. It's not like I don't have the space for them. And where am I going next? Go to Canberra, Katoomba, Ballarat. Okay, I don't know that one. Torquay. Oh, I'll go to Wagga Wagga. I don't care which way I get to Wagga Wagga, but we'll go to Wagga Wagga. Yes, sometimes the names of places in Australia really are fun. Woolloomooloo, Wagga Wagga. Or, to be honest, if there are two names the same in... Oh, Three Sisters. Oh, I've been there. Up in the Blue Mountains. That's another glorious place to go visit, the Blue Mountains. Yes, I have seen the Three Sisters. Multiple times, actually, because I tended to go up there whenever anybody came to visit me. I'd make sure to go up to the Blue Mountains and see the Three Sisters and the really steep little railway they've got in that area. And there's got waterfalls. Oh, lovely part of the world. But yes, as I was saying, if a place in Australia has two names like Wagga Wagga or there's a whole bunch of them, Australians just call it by one of them. So Wagga Wagga is just known as Wagga. They don't mention the second name. Them and them. should be enough surfboards, close to enough surfboards to fulfill a resource request. It's Canberra. Again, another place I've been to. Not the most interesting in the world because, like a lot of... Yeah, I saw the Australian royal while I was there. I saw little kangaroos and wallabies. It's like a lot of capital cities, like is it Brasilia in Brazil, strangely enough. The civil service that work there tend to all leave at weekends and go find something interesting to do elsewhere. And during the evenings, it's a place they go into to work and they get out of it during the evenings to wherever they're staying. So there is no great, or there wasn't any great life in the city during the evenings. So apparently collecting pumpkins. Now off to Katoomba. This is bringing back nice memories of my time in Australia. Until that picture came up, I forgot about the Three Sisters and the Blue Mountains. Well, I haven't thought of them for a best part of a year. When I had a friend visiting me from England, and we were discussing time in Australia when he came to visit me with his wife or his fiance then wife in Australia. They got married out there. Whilst visiting me, I was up in the Blue Mountains, in front of a waterfall. But I hadn't thought of that for quite some time. Yeah, I just completed another job. Okay, apparently I have. I heard a noise, but there was no notification saying I've completed a job. Except another one. Yeah, Katoomba. It wants soccer balls. I haven't seen any of those so far. Take the surfboards and the Australian spring water, and even the ice cream. I'll take the one pumpkin as well. And off we go to Mildura. Wherever that is. Oh, it's okay, it's over there. Then I'll head down that way. Go through these three towns to Melbourne. And then across to Launceston. Someplace I have definitely not been to. Assuming I've got an obstacle in the way because my train has stopped. Okay, so the pumpkins are wanted in Kazakhstan and AS, which is one of the islands off to my right. So at least I've got two places to dump the pumpkins. Okay. That's another couple of jobs completed. Certainly do go through jobs relatively fast down in Australia. As I did say, you can spend as much time being involved with this game or not. You can not select jobs to do. You can tell your train to go somewhere and just go back to the main menu or quit the game, and the next time you come in your car will be there with a load of money in the caboose for the passengers you would have transported, but your train cars won't gain experience if you do it that way, nor will you be able to trade cargo apart from the place you start and the place you end. And depending, you can select the option to prevent obstacle encounters, and you can pick up some free cargo along the way from obstacles which your people will clear out whilst you're not playing the game. Or you can be like me and be far more heavily involved in everything that's going on in the game. Which way round will you go? Oh, I want you to go there next. We go to Ballarat. So I'll go just complete another job. Curious. Okay, I bought enough train stations. I upgraded 50 train stations. So I don't really need to buy any more, but I'm going to. Once I've cleaned and repaired the train. And dealt with this job that I've completed. Make that 2 jobs. Okay, and once I've been through Ballarat. So again, pumpkins. It wants ribs. I don't have ribs, but I know I have no use for... Nope. Yogurt or boomerangs. Pretty sure I do have a use for the Aussie spring water, however. Okay, long reach. Wherever long reach is, I must go back there, or go there. Assuming... Oh, there's long reach. Okay, I must go back there with the surfboards. I'll set the next marker as Melbourne. Another job complete. I'm about to complete another one. Okay. So the cargo I want out there. Right. Before we get to Torquay, last time around I was over this part of the world looking for stations to buy. Cheap. And I apparently am not finding any. All the stations over this part of the world are very expensive. I bought all of them. Brisbane was a bit expensive. Okay, looks like I bought all the cheap stations in Oceania East. So looks like I won't be buying any more stations right now. As we now head towards Melbourne. A most interesting place. I can't remember the name of the TV series about the Melbourne gang war with Carl Williams and the Carlton crew, the various characters. Queen Victoria Market, yep, been in there. Another place that's well worth a visit, Melbourne. It's very pretty, nicely fun for tourists. It's truth, you've got a lot of... Okay, I don't know if I'm going to need that much spring water and... Okay, I'm going the right way. Send me down this way. So, I will set the marker over there. Looks like I'm not going to complete a whole circuit around the Oceania East in 2 episodes. Well, I won't make a third episode going around Oceania East because it's long distances between all the rest of the stations. I will just probably get to Wellington and then stop. And next time around I'll be continuing on with the main quest, wherever that takes me. It's going to start in Kazakhstan, but I don't know where it's going to take me. So in between now and then, I will clear out a load of my cargo, including hopefully a load of cargo from my depot, because it needs clearing out. Oh, that's one thing I haven't done this episode. Time to go to the gumball machine. A candy food car. I've already got one of those. Currently on my train, I believe. Yep, right there. And an Old West outhouse. At least that's new. A different outhouse for me. Okay. Alrighty. So, on to Hobart. And after Hobart, it's a long underwater trip to Dunedin. Don't know how you pronounce that, but I will set that as my destination. So when I depart Hobart, I will end the episode, because otherwise it's going to be another long underwater trip with nothing happening, which is not exactly going to be scintillating viewing. No, we'll take the Aussie spring water. Oh, and the pumpkins. Alrighty. Okay, so well, that was a trip around basically Australia, giving me a nice trip down memory lane. And that's where I'm going to end the episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed my trip down memory lane. And hopefully I will see you down the track for more of Tiny Rails in the near future. Cheerio!